like to support the channel. Also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you.
I've been reporting on the arrival of high-speed Starlink internet in remote indigenous villages in the Amazon rainforest. Myself and our photographer, Victor Moriyama, we ended up hiking in total about 50 miles in order to reach villages of the Marubo people, which are an indigenous tribe that has lived for hundreds of years, if not longer, in one of the most isolated stretches of the Amazon rainforest. Marubo actually already had smartphones, and they were using them to communicate when they were in the city or to take photos in the forest. One of the striking things for me was to see this contrast between this old traditional way of life that the Marubos have had for many, many, many years, and this very new way of life that looks far more familiar to me, frankly. SpaceX, the private space company owned by Elon Musk, arrived in the Marubo villages in September 2023. Right away, the internet was a huge hit and people were on it all the time. Marubo people saw all of the many benefits that the internet brought for them. And that included the ability to call for help in a medical emergency, the ability to communicate between different villages, inform themselves better about what's going on in the world. But at the same time, I saw the Marubo people dealing with misinformation and scams, to addictive social networks, to violent video games, so much that it became a problem for the hunting and the farming that are necessary for their way of life. And so what the Marubo leaders did is nowadays in almost all of the villages, the internet is only on for several hours in the morning and several hours in the evening, and then all day Sunday. Seeing people hunched over on their phones, typing away, sending voice notes, watching, video clips. I saw two very young boys just, swiping through video after video of Neymar Jr. Leaders in the tribe also said that the more and more they're seeing the young people be on the internet, more interest naturally there is about the outside world, and more interest about leaving the forest. Tribe who are worried about the death of the culture and the traditions and the customs of the Marubo people.
So these are the main takeaways, right? This is a beautiful tribe. They've been here for hundreds or thousands of years, living the way of life that they've always lived. They still have, the natural housing that they've built, right? They still do everything from the soil, from the ground. They eat directly from nature. They just take what it is that they need and they don't do the excess. They don't do the same things that you see that we do in everyday life. They are keeping their traditions. They are keeping everything sacred. The elders there have been stated that they are afraid of the fact of technology, in a sense, pulling the younger folks away from the tribe, from the forest, so that they may seek to go to the outside world. And I'm going to say that that is hugely detrimental and that is a negative. Because the moment in time that anybody allows outside influences to appear in their culture, you start to see things transform. And as the man stated, when the technology was handed to the tribe, it was an automatic hit because, again, this was something brand new. This is something that they've never seen before, never got a chance to experience. They literally have the whole world in their hands. Just imagine for a second that you're closed off to the whole world. You don't know what technology is, pretty much. You don't know any of the things that you normally see in the everyday city that you've been seeing for the last 10, 15, 20, if not 30 years. Then somebody, in a sense, brings you a device, brings you an item, small item, and it has a screen on it. And then on that screen, you start to see people. You start to hear voices. You start to hear, different types of songs. You get the oohs and the ahs and the lights and the bells and the whistles, right? That's going to intrigue you. Some people may be scared because they're like, yo, what is this? Like, this doesn't make any type of sense. How are they doing this? And right, that type of thing. Other people are like, wow, this is actually pretty amazing. I want to know more, right? So that's that double-edged sword when it deals with knowledge. So as he stated, it was a hit with the tribe. But the downfall of it, now again, we can highlight the positives. There's always positives to every single thing. right? But the negatives are the most pressing of the matters. He stated that they had to already start dealing with scams. And I'm trying to figure out, how does one who is not even connected to society actually deal with scams? Because I'm like, they don't have bank accounts. So it's like, what could you actually scam from them? You don't have anything, because they don't have any information. You can't just like be in Nigeria and be like, oh yeah, I'm about to just sit up there and scam this tribe over in South America, because they don't know nothing. But you're not about to get nothing. They don't have no information to give you. They don't got a birth certificate. They don't got a social security. They don't got none of that. They are away from that whole system. It for all intents and purposes, for the system that was created by men, these tribes don't even exist. They are invisible, right? So there's nothing realistically that you can scam, because it's not like you can use their name, because you can't even pronounce it or say it. You can't even actually spell it out because you don't know the language. So, again, I'm a little bit baffled and confused on how it is that they're able to get set up and hit by scams when they're not directly a part of this man-made system. They may have man-made technology, devices, right? They might have that Pandora's box, but they're not actually of this system. Then they also stated that he started to see some things that were reminiscent. People hunched over, always on their phones, just always scrolling. People just, writing text messages, doing this, doing that. Kids just all day, just watching cartoons. And then what did he say was the main effect? He said the main men that were the hunters and the gatherers, they were not doing the hunting and the gathering. They weren't going out and doing, getting animals. They weren't going out and probably getting the vegetation and all this other time. They weren't doing their normal jobs. So if you think about that tribe and how that accelerated, because remember, the Starlink got there in 2023. We're in 2024. So you mean to tell me that as soon as that little bit of internet hit, and it just gave them that Pandora's box of ooh and ah, that automatically the men were like, yo man, I'm sitting up here watching these games right now. I'm sitting up here watching these shows I've never seen before. Like, this is crazy. I'm sitting up here just looking at random stuff online. Automatically, the internet hit so hard that the tribal chief had to sit up there and set in hourly regulations for the internet. It was going to be a few hours during the day, a few hours during the night. And then it was pretty much off for the other, portion of the day. And then on Sunday, they would have the internet on all day long. That's crazy. That's crazy that you literally have to tell somebody. You have to have somebody in power that's over everybody to tell them like, yo, y'all shouldn't be doing it like this. You are getting away from the fabric of our foundation. You are getting away from what it is that we naturally do every single day before they came here and brought this technology, brought this wizardry, the sorcery directly to us, dismantling the fabric of what it is that we have created culturally, indigenously. So, like I said before, my main point is this. If this is what it does to a tribe, just think what it's doing to us every single day. Think what it's doing to us every single day. Like you said before, we've had like 20 or whatever years to pretty much get used to technology. Just because you're used to it don't mean that it makes it less detrimental. That just means that it's even more detrimental because you're just so oblivious to it because you're used to it. You're not cautious anymore. Because you're so used to it, you just think it's the norm. It's okay. That don't mean that it's okay. That does not mean that it's okay. And the other thing, like I told people before, one of the things that I had to, in a sense, edit and block out because I didn't want no problems. He was talking about there are certain types of material that is online that is not good for anybody, right? That will cause weak minds, right? And my main thought process was, who in the tribe is going to protect others out there from that type of material of which that tribe has never seen before? Again, these are very simple people living a very simple way. Sometimes in a lot of instances, ignorance is a very great thing to have. because you don't need to have knowledge of every single thing. You don't. Because the moment in time that you get knowledge of too much stuff, you don't know what to do. You start gassing yourself up. You start doing a whole bunch of things that you just really shouldn't be doing. You start exploring the areas that you should not be exploring at. You start getting indoctrinated into stuff that you would have never, ever sat up there and even gave the time of day to. But yet, here we are with this tribe. And this is only 2023, 2024. Just imagine what this tribe is going to look like by 2030 when they're now used to the internet. Just think about that. Do you really want everybody else to act like Western society, to mimic this culture? Again, we can list the good things that are here, but again, the more pressing issue is the detrimental negative things that are here that are consistent, that people are quote unquote used to, that people in a sense quote unquote call home. I wouldn't want this for anybody else. Like I said before, if people out there have a culture that is outside of Western society and you're still keeping that, and the children still have that, the elders still have that, the parents still have that, kudos to you. You did a great job. You did a great job, because you're not allowing any systems out here to indoctrinate any of your kids. But yet here we are, where you have Western culture coming into another place of where they should not be, trying to indoctrinate people into their methods, their methodology, into their ways, into how they see society, because this is not going to be the main stop. They're going to go full 100%, and how everything here in America is hitting pretty hard is going to hit them way worse. Once everything else that we're going through in America comes through there, oh, it's over. It's over. A lot of these tribes are not going to sit up there and exist, because you know what they're going to sit up there and do? They're going to sit up there and start indoctrinating the women, because they already got to the men by use of the technology. So the defenses are automatically down. There is no barrier, no guard to entry. So the next stop is basically going directly to the women. And they're going to do their best to indoctrinate the women, to give them certain ideologies, to have them believe in certain types of ways. And the moment in time that they do that, whatever tribe that they have is no longer going to exist at all. They're going to try to modernize themselves and be like the women that are in America, and try to model themselves after them. They're going to leave directly from that forest, and they're going to go out into the world and do whatever it is that they want to sit up there and do, not understanding that the moment in time that you leave home, you left everything. The moment in time that you left that society, you left everything. Whatever that they have right now, like such as the tattoos and the markings, that's the only residual evidence that they are going to have, that's going to be an identifier of the civilization that they were a part of, the family that they used to have, the tribe that they used to have at one moment in time. Because there's not going to be anybody else out here that's going to be reflective of that. There's not going to be anybody else out here that is a part of that bloodline. They're not going to be able to come to America and find somebody automatically as a part of that tribe. No, they're not going to be able to go to Europe and find. No, they're not going to Australia. They're not going to the UK. Like it's going to be. It's going to be over. It is going to be over. You're going to look at the collapse of what their society used to be, and it's going to be replaced with this modern stuff that they have directly out here that they keep indoctrinating people into. But like I said before, most of the times I do these videos, people don't get the points that I'm saying anyway. So I'm pretty sure, somebody somewhere is going to, have some nonsense to say and totally miss the message, just like the other videos I've done. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.